Hi guys, we're going live. Let me see. Let me change. Live. Is that better? Yeah. Hi guys, I'm gonna go live today with Mike. I call him Mike, aka SARACEN from Gladiators. I'm gonna be answering him questions about his fitness journey, his opinions on the fitness industry, and way more. Give me a second. I'm gonna invite him. I'm just gonna get. Actually, you can hear me. It's fine. I'm just gonna invite him. Listen. I've just come back from a hospital appointment. I look a bit, but guys, bear with me. I'm gonna add him now. Let's see if I added him. Give me a second. I got anxiety, so I'm shaking a little bit. Reggie. Oh, he's there. Sorry, I'm there. I'm looking for you. Let me just turn up my phone.
I'm here, man.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
How are you, Mike?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. How's things?
My dog got to say hi. Say hi, or
Hello.
I'll put her down. How are you, Mike?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Good. You
Just
look good.
chilling on the weekend. Huh?
Chilling. I just come back from a
Yeah,
hospital
yeah.
appointment. Everything was good news, so
Cool.
feel good. Feel good. So yeah, Mike. I usually like tell people to introduce themselves and stuff like that, but
Right.
you don't really need to do that. You're Saracen, isn't it? Like most
Well,
people.
yeah, but some people, because actually the show ended 22 years ago.
Wow. So you've had like a whole
So
new life after
if
that.
you're a 21-year-old, you may not even know who I am. So, yeah.
That's
You
true.
know, I mean, it's a long time.
That's so true. But
Mm.
anyone born in the 70s or 80s will definitely know you
Yes,
and above, innit?
yes,
Definitely know
yes,
you. So they're the fortunate
yes.
ones. Yeah. I was looking at an interview yesterday
Right.
online. I never knew you did like so much interviews, but you were talking, you were born in Kensington?
For me,
Yeah.
yeah, I was born in Notting Hill. Yeah,
Oh, that's nice. And
yeah, is it?
yeah. And you went to Sedge Hill School in Catford.
Say that again.
You went to Sedge Hill School in
I
Catford.
went to Sedge Hill.
In
Yeah, I went to. Pardon?
what year?
I went to Sedge Hill from 74 to 79.
Ross. Nice. My son goes to that
Yeah,
school, but I told you that before, innit?
that's right. Yeah,
My
yeah.
mum's there.
I think it was a completely different school then, even a different
Yeah,
building.
it was. It looks
So
really nice
yeah,
now. I don't know what it looked like back then, but they've put a lot of work into the school, and it's very,
yeah,
very strict. So how's things,
yeah.
man? How you been? How you been?
Everything's cool. Everything's cool. Just chilling, really.
What you been getting up
You
to?
know, I've got nothing to report. It's the beginning of the year, so things
Stop.
are developing, and so this is the first sort of thing I've done this year, which is an
Oh,
interview with you.
that makes me happy. Oh, that's good,
Yeah.
man. And you was used to work for Brixton Fire Brigade. Tell me about that.
I used to work for the fire service,
Fire.
London Fire Brigade, and
Okay.
I
Live
was
at
based at
fire.
well, I was posted to Brixton.
Okay.
So yeah, I did my initial training. Then I was posted to Brixton, and I worked at Brixton for 19 years.
What was the training like?
Back then, it was very military. We had to march, stand to attention, salute, all that stuff.
Ooh,
So it was very military back then.
wow.
It's a lot different now.
Yeah.
The training's a lot different now. It's more work related, as they say now.
Yeah. I
Then it
saw a
was,
video of a guy like climbing a ladder within like less
yeah,
than 10 seconds, going into a window, like getting to the top of the building. They kind of do that.
right.
Did you do that sort of training as well?
Me, I'm retired now.
Show off.
Yeah, so I worked at Brixton for 19 years. Then I went to Forest Hill. I worked at Forest Hill for around 4 years.
Mhm.
I then ended up at Greenwich. I was at
Nice.
Greenwich for, not long. I was there for about 13 months. and then I became a breathing apparatus instructor. So for the last 5 years of my career, I was an instructor based at Southwark, which
nice.
doesn't exist anymore. And yeah, I retired in 2015.
Oh, nice. So what do
Yeah.
you do now that you're retired?
Well, you see me in the gym.
Okay, all right. So I was gonna say,
You
you live
see
in
me,
the
you
gym.
know what I do.
You live
I
in
know
the
you're
gym,
asking
man.
questions for people who are watching,
Yeah.
but what I do is I go to the gym and I get young ladies run up to me and go, ah, and then jump on me.
That's
I have
me.
to
I
pretend.
did.
I
You
have to
remember when we
pretend that
first
it
met in
happened.
Blackburn?
Yeah, I have to pretend that it's a normal occurrence. I say, yeah, hi, how are you?
Oh my God! It's true.
Yeah.
When I met
Don't worry.
Saracen, guys, I ran up to him. I was like, "You're Saracen?" My Birmingham accent was strong, isn't it? I was
No,
like,
no,
"You're
it was a bit more than that. You jumped on me.
I did.
No, you jumped on me.
I did.
You did. I know you did. I was there.
I've been wanting to
You
do that
jumped
since
on
I
me.
was like 15. That's why.
Well, there you go.
I was like, when I see
I
Saracen,
made your wish
jump
come true.
on it. No, but I was so
Yeah, but no,
excited. I was so,
but seriously, yeah, no, I just basically look after myself. Really, just
yeah,
keep going to the gym, keep fit. You
yeah.
know,
You can tell.
mind and body.
You can tell. You
Yeah,
look amazing. When I first saw you, I was
thank
like,
you.
wow, how you've kept it up for all those years. Like, you still look great.
Yeah, I'm doing a lot less now than
Yeah,
I have been. So before, just after when the show ended in 2000,
yeah.
99, 2000, and I started doing capoeira. So I was doing capoeira,
I can
and
see
I
you doing
trained with
that in
some crazy Brazilians. That's the one, yeah,
the
singing
TV.
and dancing.
Yeah.
And I did that for quite a few years, to be honest, quite a long time. I also started studying ancient Egyptian studies with a master. I had my master
Yeah, I
teaching
remember.
me, and but it was physical as well.
Yeah,
So we did lots of physical stuff, as in we did a martial arts that was involved. We did lots of stretching, lots of breathing exercises, loads of things, as well as the academic side.
yeah.
So it was a physical side and an academical side. So one class was 4 hours. Did
Wow.
4 hours work.
Was that
Yeah.
splitting
So
between physical stuff and academic, the 4 hours, or?
yeah. So we did 2 hours physical first, and then you do 2 hours academic.
Oh, that's
And I did that for around 18, 19 years.
wow.
So,
Did you
yeah,
do any shows,
so,
like competitions?
pardon?
Did you do any competitions? Like any
I,
shows?
I, I used to compete as a bodybuilder back
Oh,
in the 80s.
okay. Wow, man. You've had
So,
like multiple lives in one life.
yeah, yeah, so I was into bodybuilding back in the 80s, and then the show came along.
Yeah,
So then in 92, I started doing Gladiators.
yeah, yeah.
And then that was my focus on that. That lasted 8 years. So it was difficult to sort of go back into the old bodybuilding routine
Yeah, yeah.
from there. So I moved on, as I said, I moved on to capoeira, doing the Egyptian stuff. I kept training in the gym. So right now, where I am now is I'm just training in the gym,
Yeah,
just
the
pushing weights
training kind
around.
of like
So,
your training is different now. Obviously, it's changed a bit. I remember when I came up
of
to you,
course.
like, I don't do heavy weights anymore. I don't need to.
No,
You
no.
do lightweight
I
stuff.
mean,
You'll be on that
all weights are heavy.
fine.
Let's be real. All weights are heavy. That's why
True.
they call weights,
After, yeah, true. After time.
right? But I don't train as heavy as I used to. I don't do the mad, crazy nonsense I used to do. You know, when you're in your
Like,
20s, you're invincible and
I,
you do some stupid things and end up in hospital and pretend it wasn't the weights, right? So, no, I don't do those crazy things anymore.
Aw.
I just,
So what's it like? Give me an
as far as
example.
I'm concerned, it's
Like,
sensible.
huh?
Pardon me?
What
Say that
give me an
again?
example of how your training is like now compared to then? It's a different.
I still train heavy because obviously you got to keep up the muscle size and stuff, especially as when you get older.
Yeah.
you still need to keep up that muscle size because you're going to go into the muscle wastage. I'm not going to go into the science of all things. So I still train relatively heavy.
Yeah.
But not as heavy as I used to, where you have a spotter, you do full strips and, you know, all that pyramiding and things like that. I don't really do too much of that.
Okay. Tell me why you became a bodybuilder.
Why I became a body? I used to be actually very skinny.
And
Yeah, so
wow.
I'm 6'3". I'm 6'3", and I used to weigh around a little under 12 stones.
Sorry.
At 6'3", exactly. Don't be laughing at me, man.
Sorry. That's
Don't
skinny,
be
man.
laughing at that.
That's
That's not nice. That's not nice. Look at you giggling. What's the matter with you?
I'm
You
sorry
could have
because
you could have pretended to leave the room first.
you know when your shoulders look higher because you're skinny.
So yeah, I used to get called names. You know, people call you names
Yeah.
and stuff, and you sort of, even though it's not meant to hurt, it does hurt. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? You sort of, boy, them people, they're calling me skinny bag of bones and all these names.
Yeah.
So many moons ago, I'm going back a long time ago, back in the old Lady Wall swimming baths, they used to have a little gym
Yeah.
down in the basement.
Mm.
And then I started doing a little bit there. And gyms, as we know, gyms today never existed. So
Yeah.
it's very difficult to find a proper training gym, especially in South London. So I ended up training in a gym in Leighton,
Oh,
and
no.
it was an old powerlifting gym.
Mm.
So I used to travel from Brockley all the way up to Leighton just to get
Wow.
my little fix of weights, and that's how it all started for me. Yeah, so I got the bodybuilding bug,
Yeah.
as it were.
You still got it, man.
Yeah.
You still got
Oh,
it in
thank
you
you.
now. But I see you
Thank
sometimes.
you.
I see you in the gym, yeah, and I know you're training
Yeah,
hard, and I'm like, should I bother him? And
and
my
you do.
answer is always, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, you do. I
don't
know you
bother
do.
him.
Yeah,
And then when
yeah.
we're
You
talking for
bother
so
me all
long,
the
I'm like, oh
time,
my
man.
God, okay, go back to training. I'm sorry. You know,
Yeah,
we talk about
yeah.
different things, man. I saw you talking to there's a gym is it Leighton? A gym in Leighton called Afiwi Boxing Club. Afiwi,
Yeah.
Afiwi.
I feel with Brixton.
Is it in Brixton?
Brixton.
Yeah. What was you doing down there?
I don't train. I never trained with FOE. I used to train in Brixton. I just
Okay.
know the FOE Boxing Club and how they started down in the. They got their own space down in the Brixton Recreation Centre. So if anyone's in Brixton, give them a shout. You know, give them a look up. But yeah, it's run down in Brixton. I used to train in Brixton Rec
Oh
as part of
wow.
my journey, and they were taken over by Better,
Yeah.
which is Greenwich Leisure Limited.
Yeah.
And when they first took over, they weren't interested in free weights. So we had a big discussion with them and Lambeth Council of how we can overcome this fact that Greenwich Leisure don't want free weights
Yeah.
at the Brixton Recreation Centre. They came to a conclusion that the free weights area for Lambeth will be down in Flaxman, which is where
Mm.
you jumped on me, if you remember. Yeah. So all the free weights and stuff went to Flaxman. So a lot of folks left Brixton Rec and
Mm.
ended up training in Flaxman. So that's where I used to train at Flaxman because the free weights were there. But I still used to pop into Brixton,
Yeah.
and it was
You're in
still,
a. I've seen you in a few gyms now.
yeah,
I think I've
yeah.
seen.
So this is my latest incarnation. Is
Yeah.
I'm in
Do you
NRG.
visit different gyms? Like, do you go around and just be like, oh, let me check out that gym?
No,
Oh, do
I
you
don't.
like?
I don't go around different gyms. I train in um, after uh, during Gladiators when I first started Gladiators, I was training in Muscleworks in Bethnal
Oh,
Green.
nice.
So I was at Muscleworks. I stayed at Muscleworks for quite a few years. Then I left Muscleworks and ended up at Jubilee Hall in Covent Garden.
Ooh.
So I was there for about 6 years, and because I was working in Brixton, I got fed up of the travellings from Brockley to Brixton, from Brixton to Covent Garden,
You
and
want to be back?
so that's why I started training at the Brixton Rec
Okay.
because I was working in Brixton.
It was more
And
convenient.
then, through no fault of my own, I ended up at Flaxman.
Mm.
And then from the pandemic, when the pandemic hit, so that was what, 2 years ago, when
Yeah.
they started the lockdown and all that stuff, I left Flaxman and ended up training local. So it's the first time since Ladywell swimming baths, which is back in the 70s, that I've started training locally. So I started training at NRG, which is where you keep bothering me in the
Yeah.
gym.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing else to do. Like, I
I'll
couldn't, like, I
find you
knew that
something
when
to
I
do,
went
don't
there.
worry.
Like, that's not my clientele, but I just wanted to
Right.
be in a gym with real people. Do you know what I mean? And that
Right.
gym has a lot of real people and different type of
It's a nice gym, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a really nice
It's,
gym and it's really nice people in there. So I was
yeah, it's got
comfortable,
that
but I
nice
get bored
community
really
feel.
quickly. I get bored really fast.
And yeah, and that's what Brixton Rec was like. It had that nice community feel.
Yeah, that's what I like.
And I think when you get big corporations take over,
Mm,
they try to change that because it's all about money now,
yeah,
and you get that different type of clientele. Not that I'm knocking it, because everybody needs to train and everybody needs to get fit.
yeah, for
But
sure.
when it becomes sort of like that fast food, get them in, get them out quick
Yeah,
type of
yeah,
environment, it's not very good. So yeah, NRG, you go there, you can socialize, you can have young ladies jumping.
yeah. Never gonna live that down,
I'm just
man.
teasing you. Don't worry about that. But it's a nice feel, and that's why I like it there, and I'll be there for a while now.
Yeah, it's lovely. I'm gonna go back there to train as well. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
come back.
pop
I'm
in,
gonna
man.
go back there because Mitch is there, isn't it? I love Mitch. Like,
Right.
weightlifting CEO. Should I shout out to Mitch? Like, he goes there and I love him.
Yeah, give me a shout out. Give me a shout out.
I'm giving him a shout out. A bogle as well for him because
Go for it, man.
he's a good person, man. But yeah, you're
Yeah,
married.
mate. Watch
Tell
out. She might
people
jump
about
on
that.
you in the
You're
gym.
married. You got married. When?
Second,
When did you get
I'm
married?
married. I've been married for. You see, I better get this right, man.
You better.
Man,
You better.
hang on, 94. That's. I got married in 94. How many years is that?
94. It's
Yeah,
almost 20 years, I think. Well, I'm
it's
not.
over 20 years.
It's over 20 years.
I
Is
would
it?
imagine so.
Wait, 2004. Um,
Yeah, it'll be 2014 would
oh
be 20
my
years, wouldn't it?
God, that's like 20, 25 years, 26 years.
It's a
I'm
while,
not
isn't it?
doing the maths. I'm just guessing. Yeah, but yeah, that's a
Yeah,
very long time. What's it
yeah. I
like
got
to
married.
be with someone for so long? And like
It's good.
28 years.
It's
Thank
good.
you.
We got the
Hey,
same.
I was
We
up
got the.
1983.
Don't put me on the
You got
spot here.
28 years. Thank you.
No, I mean I've been with my wife longer than that, because we got married in '94,
Wow.
but we were together for about 7 years before we got married.
Wow.
So we've been together a long time.
What? So you like,
She puts up with. She
you like,
puts up with me.
yeah, I was going to say that. You go gym all the time.
What do you mean you was about to say?
Huh?
What do you mean I was going to say? What does that mean? She's mashing me up on this little
Yeah,
chat
I'm
we're
like,
having.
you
Now
train
we've been
every
together a
single
long
day.
time, and I think if there's a secret, which isn't really a secret, is
Like,
that we have the same interests, which is fitness. Health and fitness. My wife's a
100%.
personal trainer. And we're into fitness. Don't always agree. Don't
Yeah.
always agree on things, but the same interest is there, which is the personal fitness, the looking after yourself, the being healthy, and all the rest of it. So,
But that's nice. That's
so
the
we
same
have
as
we have
well.
something in common. We have something in common, and that's what
That's
the
what makes
secret is.
it. Okay.
Yeah,
That's nice, man. You're lucky to find someone who has the same
yeah,
interest and who will stick with
yeah.
you
So you
for
got
so long.
something to talk about when you get home,
Yeah,
Just,
Eminem, that's so nice, man.
yeah,
So
yeah.
you used to teach history. What did you teach as well?
No, that was the Egyptian stuff.
You was teaching it to kids or adults?
So no, I was teaching it to adults, but I try not to be too negative about certain things. But
Yeah,
you have to be real in this world.
yeah,
And what it is that I was doing it, and then you get to a point where, because you graduate
yeah,
as you go along, and I got to a point where I can then be able to teach it myself.
Mm.
So I started a little school and, you know, invited people along. And what I wanted to do was, and it's not a racial thing, it's just how I wanted it to be, was to pass that knowledge on to other black people.
Yes, because they need to
Whether
know.
it be kids, whether it be adults, it doesn't really matter. You just got this knowledge and you need to pass it on, you know. And in this society that we live in, London, I can only base it on London because I've never lived anywhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah, is that black people are too busy with other things, and they're not really interested.
Things that don't concern us.
Mainly, but what I'm saying is that you're too busy. What I'm saying is that there is knife crime, there is gangs, and we know there are knife crime and we know there are gangs, but we focus too much on that rather than focus on the nice folks that is out there. We've got some nice kids out there, we've got some nice people out there, and we don't focus on them. And that's who we need to focus on, because knife crime, gangs will always be there.
Yeah.
We could do our best to try and eliminate that, but don't focus too much on that and neglect the nice folks that are out there and the good guys that are doing good things.
Don't focus on a bad child for a long time. They're gonna get bored, you know, and want to have to change. Yeah, I think we should do that. We need to stop talking about the negative so much and just focus on the
and talk about the, you know, some young boy passes A levels. Let's pick that up.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
You know, some black folks going to uni. Let's talk about them.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I agree.
But we don't have that conversation.
Yeah.
And so when I tried, you know, people come in and the first thing is the money. You know, how much? And you sort of think, I have to pay for the hall.
How much is it? It's true.
I have to rent the hall. You know, the hall don't come free. Nobody don't give me nothing for free.
True.
Right? And plus, there's my time. I'm not going to. I thought it was extremely cheap compared to what I paid.
Yeah.
So what I paid, maybe it's because I could afford it, and it was something that I was interested in. So I would have found the money anyway.
Yes.
So the money wasn't the
main issue.
The main issue. The main issue was I needed to learn this thing. But I don't think that black folk. I'm generalizing here, all right? So don't get bombarded with I'm interested. I'm generalizing. Black folks were not interested, and they're not interested to pay.
Do you think they're scared?
I don't think it's a case of being scared. It's a case of what can I do with it? And if you were to go fully into it, because it wasn't about just learning who the kings and queens are. It wasn't about learning, you know, who did this and who did what. It was about how they lived.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how they lived it was all about health and fitness, which is why we do the breathing exercises, why we do the stretching exercises, why we do all these things. This is what they did every day.
Wow.
They were the healthiest people on this earth. And that's what you have to look at, how you can implement something that people did thousands of years ago into your life today.
Yeah, yeah.
And get so much benefits from it.
Yeah.
And you're talking about the dieting, you're talking about because it's a spiritual system rather than a religious system.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, and how the stars, how the planets, how all these things affect you. In your everyday life, because you know they did get the zodiac. They got the zodiac from the Temple of Dendera. Yeah, that's on the ceiling. That's where the zodiac came from. So you know these people studied astrology. You know they studied all these things. So it's a huge subject for me to talk about in 5 minutes, but you can utilize everything that they did in your life today. But you need the time to do it. You need the time to do it, and everybody's too busy working.
You need to make the time, guys.
And isn't it funny that people call it making a living? When you're not actually making a living, you're making a working, because you just go to work all the time.
Living is knowledge, gaining knowledge, education, and looking after yourself. Like
looking after yourself,
I find
and
like
everything else looks after itself.
yeah, yeah.
You
Nothing
look after
outside of
this.
me could really bother me. You
No, that's right. And once you start looking after yourself and you're fit, you're healthy, you're happy,
know? Yeah,
it radiates onto other people.
it does. It does.
You
But then
see?
you don't
So
want
when you're
you
training
have
in the
to be
gym,
watching
somebody
your
can just
mouth
run in
now.
and jump on you.
Huh? Say that What did you say?
I said, so when you're training in the gym, someone can look and think, I'm going to jump on that guy. And they can come and jump
I
on you.
don't regret it, you know. I do not regret it. I swear it was the best day of
Good.
my
No, good.
life. Amazing.
Listen. The things that you can think about,
Yeah.
yeah, and you think, should I or shouldn't I? And then you say, no, I better not, and then you regret it.
Mm,
And one of these things was many years ago when we was doing the show, we did a video for Shirley Bassey
yeah.
because she did one of those in our audience with Shirley Bassey.
Audience.
So
Oh,
so
audience.
we had
Yeah,
the same
I
producer.
remember. Yeah.
Yeah. So we had the same producer, which is Nigel Lithgow. So Nigel says, come along, do this video with Shirley Bassey. Right.
Yeah.
So we did the video, and the video ended, and everyone's just hanging around.
What?
And we had our little crew, which was the Gladiators crew, and she was over with her little crew. And I'm looking over and I'm thinking, that's Shirley Bassey.
Ew.
I need to go over and say hello. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I mentioned it. I said, I think I should. And everyone was, no, you can't. That's Shirley Bassey. She's big superstar. You can't. I said,
You
no, I
know what
need
I
to.
would have done?
I did. I went over and I
Yeah.
said, you know what? I said, I've been standing over there thinking about coming over to say hello, and I really don't care anymore. I'm coming up. And I said hello, and she said, funny enough, I was looking over at you thinking the same thing. And that's
Oh,
what she said.
she knew
Can
there
you
was only
imagine?
one Saracen. She knew.
You see? Now imagine if I hadn't gone over and said
Yeah.
hello.
Mm,
Today I'll be thinking, why didn't I say hello?
missed your chance, man.
Because these opportunities don't come around every day.
No. See, it's intuition, though, isn't it? Intuition.
You have to if you feel strong enough that it's something that you need to do, you need to go and do it.
Yeah. Like
That's
run up
the
and
advice I give to
jump on
people.
it.
As long as it's not illegal.
Yeah.
Right? As long as
I agree.
it's good, clean, legal stuff. If you feel that you need to do it, go and do it.
Yeah.
Don't live life with regrets.
Like, do people tell you, like, have you ever met anyone other than me that tells you how you've impacted their life in a positive way?
Yes. Yes, even with the fire service. When I joined the fire brigade back in 1985,
Yeah.
that's when I joined. And
1995. And you had
I
to
was in
work on
training.
Christmas Eve one time. I remember in the
That
interview.
was my first duty. That was my
Yeah,
first duty.
Christmas
But
Eve, and you was
but
back.
yeah, they wouldn't even give me the time off. So whilst I was in training school,
Yeah.
the riots was going on. So you had the riots in Tottenham, you had the riots in Brixton, you had the riots in Manchester, you had the riots in Birmingham. They were all going off at the same time, and I was still in training school. So when I graduated, I was posted to Brixton.
Yeah.
And you think, oh no, I'm gonna have a hard time, and Brixton, and this is what you're hearing. Oh, these people are gonna give you a hard time, man. And so the first time I went out on the plants, we stopped at Brixton Road, and I jumped off. The positivity that I got, it was unbelievable. You know what I mean? And I don't think that we give black people enough credit.
Yeah. Or just,
We
yeah.
still keep jumping on that negative. Oh, they're going to do this to me and they're going to do that to me. And I jumped off and people were running up and shaking my hand.
Yeah.
Boy, I never seen a black fireman before. Make a shake your hand. And it was wonderful.
Oh,
And I had a
that's
great time.
nice.
And I stayed at Brixton for 19 years. I worked at Brixton Fire Station.
Wow.
And in all that 19 years, not one bit of problem I had.
That's
I
beautiful.
had a great time at Brixton, you know. So
Are there any incidents that you remember? Like
there's
shocking
loads.
incidents?
There's loads. There's loads.
Like what?
There's hundreds.
Tell me one that stuck in your head of like rotted.
No, there's loads. There's hundreds. But
Loads.
I mean, I went to the Clapham rail crash.
Clap a who?
The Clapham rail crash.
I don't remember that.
This is back in the 80s, where I think there was 36 people died. The train crash in Clapham Junction. It wasn't actually in Clapham Junction. It was just outside Clapham Junction rail station up in Battersea. So these are big major incidents that you go to, but mainly you do little incidents like house fires and car crashes and all the rest of it. And it's always your first one.
Yeah.
So the first time you see a dead body, you ain't gonna forget that. The first time you see someone mangled in a car crash, you ain't gonna forget that. But these ain't things that you which is how can I say, general conversation.
Yeah.
You don't go to a dinner. You don't go to a dinner party and say, "Oh, guess what I saw the other day." No, you don't do things like that. But Brixton was a very busy station.
Yeah.
Brixton is a unique place. That's all I can say. In Brixton, because when you have a fire station, the fire station has a fire ground, which is an area that it covers.
Okay.
And within the area of the fire station, we had 3 tube stations: Brixton, Stockwell, and Clapham North.
Okay.
Yeah, we have 2 hospitals. The Northwestern, which is now a mental hospital. Sorry, the Southwestern, which is now a mental hospital on Landau Road, and King's College.
Okay. Wow.
And King's, yeah. So there was loads of things that kept you busy.
Yeah.
You know, you go into the hospitals, you go to the tube stations. We used to get a lot of people because they did the care in the community, where they released people from the mental hospitals during the daytime. And we had so many people jumping in front of the tube trains. It was unbelievable, you know. And you have to go and deal with it.
What analysis do you have to take to be able to be like, oh, this person's not well, we're just going to let them out in the daytime?
I think it's difficult. Like I said, that's not my field of expertise, but what I would say is that when you're talking to people, they're not really that honest with you. How you feeling? I'm fine.
Yeah.
Are you sure? Yeah, I'm okay. There's nothing wrong with me. I'll be all right. You see? So it's kind of difficult to judge that. And what it was that I think it was a phase that the health system went through where they were allowing people their own space. Rather than lock them up 24/7, give them the opportunity to go out there and whatever. And people tried.
Yeah.
They went out, but they couldn't cope.
They should have had a carer, man. Someone who could go with them.
Maybe they should have had somebody with them, and that's with hindsight, isn't it?
I would
have. Yeah, but that's with hindsight. You know, we got hindsight now that we know that didn't particularly work out too well. You know, so and again, when you do release people for the day or however you release them for, there's no guarantee that they're going to be on it taking their medication all the time and so on. But like I said, that's not my expertise. I'm not really gonna dive into that.
Yeah. So what challenges have you faced in your life as far? What challenges?
There's lots of challenges. I mean joining the fire service back in the 80s was a challenge.
That was a challenge?
Because as I said, people were saying, I've never seen a black fireman before. This is Brixton.
Yeah.
When I joined Brixton Fire Station, and we're talking Brixton.
Yeah.
There was only one other black guy there before me.
Wow.
One.
And even to this day, there's not a lot of, I don't really see a lot of black firemen. I've seen them.
There's loads, but spread out.
Yeah.
They're spread out. And even when I went to Greenwich, right? If I describe where Greenwich Fire Station is, it's just off Blackheath Hill, opposite Lewisham Road.
Yeah.
Do you know where the Wicks is? Wicks on Blackheath Hill.
Yeah.
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 It's right near there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's the inner London fire station. Wow. Yes, quite central.
Yeah.
Yes. When I went to Greenwich, and that was in 2009, I was the only black person there.
That's terrible, man.
That's how it is.
That's terrible.
That's how it is. So that's the challenges you have. And when you walk into a fire station like that, yeah, because you're just walking in on your own. There's nobody brings you in and introduces you to anybody. You get
Yeah.
posted there. The day you're working, let's say 9 o'clock on a Monday, you walk in and you have to introduce yourself.
Wow.
So it's first impressions is everything. You
Yeah.
know this.
That's crazy,
So
man.
when you walk, so
I've
when you
been
walk into that fire
yeah.
station, you got to ask yourself: am I walking in as a black man? Am I walking in as a firefighter?
Oh,
Am I
that's
walking in?
sad.
You see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, that's
You have
sad
to,
though. We shouldn't be thinking like that. Because
but you have to let people know who you are.
And just because we're brown, you know, damn.
Yeah, but this is when you work in an institute like that, like I would imagine the police is the same. It is very male dominated, white male dominated
Yeah,
sort of environment you're walking into.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So are you walking in as in I'm just going to be part of this system, or are you walking in as in I'm an individual, I'm a black man, and I'm here.
I'm gonna do
Deal
this.
with it.
I'm gonna do this.
Deal with it. You understand?
Yeah,
And my mistake when I walked into Brixton was I walked into Brixton as I'm part of this system and I'm just gonna and you know what I mean? They took advantage of that.
yeah,
You know what I mean? You
yeah.
have to sit there and listen to their stupid jokes. You have to sit there and listen to their stupid conversations. Do you
Yeah,
know what I mean? You got to
yeah.
listen to
Not
all this
see
stuff,
years of it.
and they will push your buttons. They
Mm,
will push your buttons to see, and it got to a point where you have to now establish yourself.
yeah.
You see, talk to me like that again, and me and you's going to have problems. And this is how you have to have. This is the conversations you have to have with people.
I had the same thing in the gym, man. It's that same challenges in the gym. Trust me.
Of course, because gyms are very male dominated. You know,
Not
when
when
you
I'm
come
on
into
that.
Flaxman, when you walked into Flaxman,
Yeah.
yes,
Wow.
Flaxman,
Yeah.
like any other gym,
Yeah.
very male dominated. Yes,
Yes. Yes.
you see what I'm saying? And you can't walk in. Well, you can do, but you can't really walk in as a woman. And I'm just gonna. It's men, and I'm just gonna let the men have this. No, you have to walk in as I'm here now,
It's true.
and I'm gonna do my thing.
It's true. Yeah.
You see? And so that's what I'm saying. So when I walked into Greenwich,
Mm.
you have to be that person.
Yeah, it's true.
This is who I am. I don't put up with this, and I
Yeah.
don't put up with that.
But a lot of people like us have that natural aura. Natural aura. When
Yes, and to be honest with you, I never had that. I had to develop that. I had to develop that thick skin within the fire service because people do mess with you. I'm using the word mess. You know what I'm talking about. People will mess with you and they will push your buttons and they will take you as far as they can.
Trust me.
And they also, when you retaliate,
Yeah.
they also use the system against you.
Trust me.
So they're the guilty party. You're retaliating to their nonsense, and they will use the system, and you're the aggressor. You know, he had me up on the wall, sir. He was the one who had me up, and he's the one who. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so it is difficult. And I retired 6 years ago from the fire service, and I'm still in touch with quite a few people that's still in the fire service. And from the day I joined in 1985, where we wanted to make a difference, to the time I left, to the time now, nothing has really changed.
Nothing.
Yes, there are more black folks in the fire service. Yes, there's more women in the fire service.
Yeah.
But the mentality is still the same.
That's horrible.
And the reason being is that a lot of people do join these organizations or these institutions, because it's an institution, and mind their own business.
Do you think it would ever
You
change?
see?
Do you think
Pardon?
it would ever change?
People have to change. Let's make it clear here, because when we talk here, we generalize, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with the fire service. It's a fantastic career. What you're dealing with is people within the organization. Yeah. So as I say, is that you get someone on a fire station, and there's a woman working at that fire station, and that woman has to put up with so much.
So why are they employing these people?
No, hear me out. Let me finish. So the person there has the opportunity to stand up and say, listen, you can't talk to her like that. But what they do is they mind their own business. So they believe that, well, I didn't join in, so therefore my hands are clean. But no, you're allowing it to go on because you have the opportunity to say, listen, guys, you can't be doing this. You can't treat that person like that. And until more and more people stand up and start talking in those terms, then nothing's going to change. Same in the police force. You have so many black folks working in the police force, but yet we still have the police going around stopping the young boys, putting their hands in their pockets, let me search you, and all the rest of it.
Sad, man.
As a bystander, you can say, well, the police are doing their job, and you know, there's nothing wrong with that. But you have to put yourself in the shoes of that young boy. How embarrassing is that to be stopped in the street in front of all these people and get these people poke you and put their hands in their pocket like you're a non-entity and we can do this to you anytime we feel like. That's embarrassing.
Yeah.
And yet nobody will stop and say, hey, you can't do that to that young man. If you're going to search him, take him to the police station where it's private.
Yeah.
And do it don't do it in the public.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a tactic they use as well. They know what they're doing.
So, yes. So, and this is what I'm saying. So until more people stand up and say, listen, you can't do that. You know, I don't care what you do to me, but you can't do it to that young man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing will change.
Nothing will change. Yeah, that's so true, Mike, man. It's so true.
You
know? I was going to ask you, like,
yeah, go on.
You got any adventures or holidays this year? I know you like to travel.
No. Unfortunately, my wife and I, we used to go on quite a few adventures. We go to loads of places, and what it is, we go to places with open minds.
Yeah.
So when we went to Cuba, decided you got to go to Cuba.
Yeah.
Right, because the world was changing. Yeah, and we knew that Cuba was going to change as well, and we wanted to see Cuba as it is. You know what I mean? The Cuba that people talk about. So we flew out to Cuba, and you sort of think when you get there, what am I going to eat? How's this going to, you know what I mean? Because you have this Western head on.
Yeah.
And we went out there, and what a beautiful place.
Yeah.
And the people treat you so nice.
Yeah.
And everybody looked so healthy. I couldn't find an unhealthy looking person anywhere. And you know what I mean by unhealthy?
Yeah.
You know, you're talking about grossly overweight. There's people that are overweight, but when I'm talking about grossly overweight and looking older than they're supposed to be, you know, couldn't see it. Not in Cuba. These were one of the healthiest looking places, and I'm thinking, all that stuff that I've been told about Cuba is not true. And you have to go out there to see it for yourself.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
You know, and that's why I say to people, don't listen to what I tell you. Go out there and see it for yourself.
Go and see it for yourself. What's your top 3 countries that you visited? What would be the top 3?
Egypt.
Egypt, 1.
Egypt. Been to Egypt a few times, and every time I go out there, the people treat you so, I mean, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, and, how they treated you. Tell the people how they treated you last time.
Listen, I went to, the first time I went, right, it was incredible. And I was a lot bigger then, because we was doing the Gladiator show, and I went out there to do this promotion. And we stayed in a place called Hurghada, a diving resort. And they took us out for a meal one day, and I was standing in the street, and it was sort of like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and the schools was coming out. And I'm standing on the side of the road, and the school kids come around the corner, and one of them looked at me. It was a girl, and she screamed, "Ah!" and ran back round the corner. And I thought, oh, well, what is it? And then they all the whole school came out and started staring. Look at this big black man, look. And they were all... That was quite an experience, but it was good. It was a good experience, if you know what I mean. Because like I said, is that when you go out to these places, you have to establish yourself. You can't be wishy-washy.
Yeah.
You have to let them know, I'm a black man, I'm a nice guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can come and talk to me. I'm not I'm not the bogeyman that you sort of seem to think that I am.
Yeah.
So you have to represent. That's the word I'm looking for. You have to represent
And be yourself.
when you go out to these places. And went out for 2 weeks. This is when I was doing the Egyptian study course, and we went out for 2 weeks, and we stayed in the capital, Cairo. We stayed in a place called Heliopolis, that in Cairo. And we would go out walking down the road, and as I walked down the road, we're looking at us, Bob Marley! Bob Marley! Come to my shop, Bob Marley! Hey, hey, Bob Marley, yeah? Yeah, Bob Marley. And it was all good. And then, and I was stood at the side of the road one time, and this coach was going past, and the coach stops in the middle of the road. And it stops, and the doors open up, and the driver gets off, and he shakes my hand, and he says, "We're cousins." Gets back on the coach and drives off. And everyone looks at me and they say, "Do you know him?" I said, "No, I've never seen him before in my life." "But why is he saying hello to you?" I said, "But I don't know. He obviously likes me."
I love things like that.
So when we were in Cairo, it's sort of towards the north. It's very Muslim heavy, Arab heavy type, demographics is the people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right? But then we were going down south, so we drove down to Luxor, and we did a little bit in Luxor. Then we got onto the boat.
Yeah.
And we did the Nile cruise, and I recommend that to anybody.
Yeah,
that river is so amazing. I can't even describe it to you. It is the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life. It starts off like like the River Thames. It's like that wide. But when you go down, it is so big. It's like you're in the sea.
Wow.
It's huge. It's amazing. But anyway, get to the point. Gone down to Aswan, and now everyone's a bit darker. You know what I'm saying now, right? Because now you've gone down south.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm walking down the road, and people are running across the road to say hello. Hello, welcome. Tell your friends, come visit us.
Wow.
Fantastic. And it was incredible. And everyone, because I'm with a white group.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they look at me and they say, "Do you know these people?" I said, "No, I've never been here before." "But they all seem to know you." I said, "No, they don't know me. They just want to say hello." And it was difficult trying to explain to the white group
just connected,
how these people must be feeling, because they only get white visitors.
Yeah.
They don't get black visitors.
Oh, I want to
go. Here I am. So we was going to these temples as part of our study. And one of the temples is a temple called Philae, the temple of Est, or the temple of Isis, because most people know it as Isis. And to get there, because it's on an island, you have to go by this boat.
Wow.
So we're on this boat, and there's this young guy, and he's driving the boat, and we get to the island, you do the tour. We come back in the boat, and then somebody decides that they're going to do a whip round for the boy. So they start collecting money for this boy, and then let's look for a spokesman who's going to give this boy the money.
Yeah.
Guess who that is? Have a guess. Right. So they say to me, "Could you give the boy, the money?" And I says, "Okay." So I go over to this boy in this boat. He's steering the boat. It's only a little boat, and he's steering it. So I says, "Oh, they did a whip round for you and cash." And he took the money, but he looked so disappointed.
Yeah.
And I thought, "What happened to him? I give you all this money and you go on, sir." So I said, is there a problem?
Yeah.
So he says, "To be honest with you," he says, "I can't really do nothing with the money where I come from. This doesn't mean anything." So I says, "So what is it that?" He says, "Oh, we need pens and paper and, books." And I said, "No problem." So I took everyone's pens.
What?
"You got a notebook? Give me and I took all their pens, all their notebooks. I give it to. The boy was so happy. You could have, the look on his face was incredible. And then he opens up. "Oh, where we're from, the village I'm from," he says, "anything you need to know, we will tell you. You don't need to come on this tour and do all this nonsense. This is for the tourists. You come to us and we look after you and blah, blah, and where we," but it was such a quick trip. I didn't really get to exchange details with him and stuff, but just Giving the boy the pen, the look in his face was amazing.
Yeah, it's
But
how
when I gave him the money, it was like,
different.
yeah, give me this bar.
He didn't want the money. He wanted. Do you know what? That's so lovely. He's not materialistic, folks. You know, to the extent
No,
of needing the money.
and all it is that we're different worlds.
Yeah, different world.
We live in this Western capitalist society. That's where we live in.
Yeah,
And he didn't live in that world.
yeah.
It didn't mean anything to him.
Imagine giving a boy from Lewisham a pen and a pad. Like,
It's a poke it, innit?
like what you doing?
Exactly.
Man don't want.
And that's how the guy looked at me when I gave him the money.
Wow, man, that's crazy.
You see? You see how upside down this world is?
It is. It is. That's why I need to travel more, man. I need to travel. But
get out there.
Before we go, tell me what you love about the fitness industry. Tell me what you see and
the fitness industry.
Yeah.
The fitness industry, I've seen it change. Like I said, when I first started training, there weren't none of this. There weren't no, especially there weren't any chains. So you didn't have like the pure group chain and the gym group. You know what I'm saying? The fitness first chain and you had individuals own gyms. You know, so some guy, he was a power lifter and he's got his own gym and it's spit and polish, you know what I mean? You drop the weight on the floor and it's just pure dust come up and kill you. They don't have cleaners, mate. It's right. And there was no weight racks. Wow. The weights are on the floor. If you want weights, they're on the floor. You have to pick them up.
Yeah, and put them up. Gym in Deptford. Have you been there, Commando?
No. Well, so it must be a throwback.
I love the rawness to that gym. Like
that's it. So that's the throwback to how it was.
Yeah.
And everybody, you walk into a gym, and someone will look and say, "What are you doing today?" So I'm doing legs. Oh, well, train with me.
Yeah.
And you always had someone to train with, and it was always so. That was the good part. It was friendly. It had a community spirit. All the rest of it. Now,
what's the bit you don't like?
You have the. No, well, now you have the gyms where it's very impersonal, if that's a word.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You go to the gym and I'll give you an example, right? Because this just happened the other day and I've seen it so often in the gym, right? Someone's using a piece of equipment, but they're superset.
Yeah.
So they've gone off to use another piece of equipment.
Yeah.
And then somebody come, it was the cables, and somebody came and they were adjusting the cables. So he came back just to tell the person, I'm still using that. The person goes, yeah, but you wasn't using it. He said, no, I'm just letting you know I'm using it, and you know I'm supersetting, but we can. No. He says, no, but we can train together. No, and the person stormed off. And I thought, you see, this never used to happen back in the day. You said to a man, yeah, you can. Yeah, we train together, no problems. What are you doing? Squatting? Yeah, I'll squat with you, no worries.
Yeah.
You see? And that's, I think, what's being lost in the gyms now.
Okay.
The good thing, and it is the best thing that's happened, is that more and more people can make a living now.
Yeah.
From the fitness industry.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. So people can make a living. You don't have to now, get your usual 9 to 5. You know, if especially now, you know that we have these single mothers and stuff. We know they're out there, so it's a conversation that we should be having. They now have an outlet.
Yeah.
Where they can.
And the single moms are really good at training people. They're really good.
Yeah.
Like, some of them are the best PTs.
You see, and they can do it in their time.
Yes.
And still have the family time.
Yes.
You see,
work around it.
And it's good.
Yeah.
The thing you have to watch out for is the charlatans. You know, the charlatans, the one who posts a picture of their abs and you can have abs like this in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
All you need to do is this.
I hate that.
You see?
I hate that.
You have to look out for these people because we know that it's a journey. It's a journey. It's a lifetime.
It's a lifestyle.
You know, it's a lifestyle. It is all those things.
Yeah.
Right? And you need somebody that's going to be with you throughout that journey.
Yeah, so what
not someone who come in and do this 6-week course and you'll be looking like Arnie Schwarzenegger in 6 weeks. Just give me £2,000 and I will change you.
Yeah.
I think, come on now.
6 months is not long enough to study for PTing, like 3 years minimum. And I feel just for any fitness professional, they need to have a level of understanding of training before they start. And then when you're training someone, you're still learning because everyone is different.
Everyone's different, and everybody wants something differently. And with a gym, and you got to remember, I found this out on my journey, you know, because I was just gym oriented, if that's the word. I was gym minded, right? On my journey, until I started doing capoeira. I started training with the Brazilians, and realized, you know what, there's a different way to train.
There's multiple ways, multiple.
And then start doing my Egyptian studies, and find out there's a different way to train.
Yeah.
There's all different ways of keeping fit and looking after. And what you have to do is a balance.
Yeah.
And you have to balance it out. You have to balance out the training with the weights, with the stretching. Because if you don't stretch, you don't get the strength.
Yeah.
Because the strength is in the flexibility of the muscle. We all know this. Yeah? So you have to do your stretching. Yeah? But then you have to do your breathing exercises, because it's not just about the outer look. It's about the inner look. Then you have to sort out your diet.
Yeah.
Get that diet fixed, because yes, you can get fantastic results on a bad diet, but you can only go so far.
Trust me.
Fix your diet, you can go wherever you want.
Yeah.
Fix your diet, breathing, exercising, fantastic stretching routine, and a strength routine. Wow.
Yeah. That's you know, it's funny. I was going to ask you, what would you tell someone who wanted to start training and get into the industry? Like, what would you tell someone? But you just basically just said it.
Yeah, I mean, again, we're generalizing because people want to do other things. So people want to be a bodybuilder. So if you want to bodybuild, you know there's certain things. You're not going to be on that treadmill for an hour running. That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Because you want to put on the size.
Yeah.
Yeah? Which is good. But while you're putting on the size, don't neglect the stretching, because that's what we do.
A lot of big guys stretch. And when I see them stretching, I love it. I'm just like, you're stretching.
Yeah. So don't neglect that. But if you're just want to, let's say you're a tennis player and you want to improve your game, that's when you have to do the multiples of the strength training, the fitness training, the breathing exercises, the stretching. You see what I'm saying? Go in a swimming pool, you know, do a few laps to loosen up the muscles in the swimming pool. Yeah, but I only want to play tennis. Yes, I know you want to play tennis, but you know, tennis isn't just your one arm.
Man. You need to start
tennis is not just the arm that you have holding a racket. You understand? It's your whole being.
It is. It's a lot.
Yeah. Same with footballers. You see, back in the 70s, you know, 60s, 70s, footballers were just footballers. Yeah, kick a ball around, go to the pub, swig it. Now you see, and I do believe it was someone like Arsene Wenger who come along with Arsenal and changed the whole thing about. You don't just go out there and kick a ball.
Nah.
It's your whole being. So you go to Arsenal Academy and you see what these boys got to do now to get fit. And if you can't do that, you ain't getting in the first team.
Yeah.
You see, it's not about your skills. I don't care how many keepy uppies you can do. If you cannot do the training that we tell you to do, you ain't getting in the first team.
Yeah.
You see, and this is what it's about, and the whole thing is changed. You know, so it's not just a case of going out there and playing golf and swinging the golf. You got to go to the you know, and people used to wonder why Tiger Woods was winning all these things, because the guy wasn't just swinging a golf club. He was in the gym.
Yeah.
He was out running. He was out doing all this stuff.
Yeah, getting it all in.
You know?
That's amazing, man. But I've got to go now because I've got like.
You got to go.
You know,
but it's good chatting. It's good chatting. And thank all these other people that tune in and send the love and all the rest of it. Respect to all of you.
Everyone. Beckford Fitness said add my fitness page for motivational purposes. We'll definitely do that. Someone asked you if you would go back to Gladiators if they asked you to go back.
Listen, Ego says yes, of course you would. Because that's the ego, isn't it?
Yeah.
I can do that.
Yeah.
But the reality is, I know how tough that show was.
Yeah.
Right? And you got to remember, it was just a game. So basically, let's take the wall, for instance.
Yeah.
Climbing that wall was tough. It was hard. And it hurt.
The host, like, you know, Aruga, remember that guy? What's his name?
John
Aruga.
Fashnu.
John, what's his name? John
Fashnu. Yeah, he used to play for Wimbledon.
Would you host it, though, if they asked you?
Would I host it?
Yeah.
No, they wouldn't have me hosting.
No? Why?
Nah, I talk too much Cockney, man. Look, listen to my accent, man. They want that nice, clean. I was going to say Idris, but Idris got a little twang, Cockney twang as well in it.
Yeah,
but you know what I'm saying? Man. They're like that nice, clean English.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
I was going to say bounce. Yeah. That's so rude. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. But I knew what you meant. But yeah, they need that nice, clean accent. I don't have that.
Yeah. All right, then. I'm going to go, Mike, but I love you, and I will see you soon. If not in the gym,
all right.
I'll stalk you in the summer, yeah?
You can stalk me anytime you feel like.
I love you. See you soon.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah? Nice talking to you. Bye, guys. Bye.
Always.